Hey there, vinyl community and all my music loving friends. It's Mike MGK Boston back with another video on a very rainy and windy Friday here. We're only getting, it's 55 degrees Fahrenheit. It's bizarre. And then I look at the weather across the nation, including back up in the homeland in Ontario. Everybody's getting slammed with snow and super cold. We're not getting that. We overnight, just a bunch of branches down. We didn't lose power, but it's really weird. I'd almost rather have snow. I know our daughter wasn't keen on the green Christmas. She would like snow. I like it now, but then later I'm done with it. But it'll come here eventually because it's New England. You wait 10 minutes and the weather changes. So anyway, I know y'all didn't come here for a weather forecast, but I just thought I'd throw that in like I do. Today I'm just going to do like another one of these playlists, stuff I've been listening to the past week. And I'm also, though, going to inject in this some December music memories, and you'll get my vibe on that when I get to it. And yeah, and then a brief contest update at the end, because I am having a contest. If you're not aware, my push to 400 subscribers. So please check out the video for that, the launch video. It's called Mike and Patty's Push to 400 Subscribers. And put a video together and enter it. They've been fabulous so far. And again, I'll get to that at the very end of this video today. So anyway, again, like I said, playlist is just like stuff I've been listening to the past week. So this is something I picked up at the time it came out. This was 1989. This is just a 12-inch single. Apparently there was a full-length album, and this was all done. It was members of Taghead Ministry, including Al Jorgensen, and the well-known Wax Trax guy, Adrian Sherwood, was the producer on this one. And it's basically, I listened to this the other day because it was the end with the World Cup ending. So this is basically, it's just loops. It's hard to describe this, kind of industrial with loud soccer chants in the background of a game. Of course, the single here, Sharp as a Needle, and on the other side, it's England 2, Yugoslavia 0. And of course, you can see here it's produced by Adrian Sherwood. Doesn't say the label here. I don't know if this was on Wax Trax or not. But of course, I was thinking of the World Cup, and if you listen to this is on YouTube. You could find this. It's very interesting listen. Not even, it doesn't even say the label really on here. There's some dude on the B side, and then the A side there. You can see the two tracks listed: Sharp as a Needle and England 2, Yugoslavia 0. So yeah, it just got me thinking about soccer. I'm not a big soccer fan. Did watch the final, however. Everybody and their brother or mother or whatever were watching that, I'm sure, around the world, and it was pretty exciting. I'll give it that. But yeah, this is Barmy Army, they're called. I think their name came from, it was a group of soccer fans in East London, England. Were called the Barmy Army. Not called that because I think they were an exceptionally rowdy bunch, like they can be at soccer games. I'm a big NFL fan. Get up and cheer, but nothing too crazy there. But anyway, it's Barmy Army, and that's relative to the recent World Cup. Got me listening to that the other day. And this one too. I'm a big fan of college radio and independent radio. I have been since high school, and that's how I discover a lot of music, writing stuff down in my notebook. So there's actually, if you go to WRIR.org, that is an independent radio station in Richmond, Virginia. You can go to their program schedule. There's a program I've been listening to for several years, hosted by a great guy named Gene Pembleton. It's called The British Breakfast. It airs every Saturday morning live at 9 Eastern Standard Time. However, his old shows, he's got about, there's usually a dozen there you can just grab and stream and play it. Unfortunately, they don't have an app. You have to go to WRIR.org and look up the program British Breakfast. So anyway, I mentioned that only because Gene played a track by the Godfathers on a recent episode I was listening to, and it was a new track. So he calls the show British Breakfast mainly because he features only music from the British Isles, and that would include these guys, the Godfathers. So this came out, oh wow, what's the year on this one? I want to say 1985, 88, of course, and they were on Epic. So I call these guys pop punk. Of course, the big single from this was the title track, Birth, School, Work, Death. And Gene played a new song, and I didn't even know these guys were still active, and it was really good. Don't ask me to tell you the name of the song, but long story short, that's what brought me to the Godfathers. And I haven't seriously listened to this record, I bet you, since I was probably still in university, was the last time. So this is really in near mint condition. Played it a few times when I bought it. Like I said, I mainly bought it for the title track, Birth, School, Work, Death. But the rest of this is pretty good. It's just like power punk pop, I guess I'd call it. PPP, Power Punk Pop, the triple P. But it's fun. They're a 5-piece, but again, still active. I was very surprised to hear that. And just some liner notes on the inside. This is kind of cool. It's all the band members, pictures of when they were young lads. That's kind of neat. And on the other side, just the lyric sheet for that. And they were on, like I said, there's the cool Epic logo. But yeah, this hasn't seen the light of day in long time, 30 years. I'm really dating myself here, buying this when it came out in 1988. That was my second half of my freshman year, actually. So yeah, we're all getting older. What are you gonna do? It's birth, school, work, death. That's the cycle of life. So yeah, anyway, the long story, you got it. The Godfathers, check it out. All right, so this was JT's Record Room. I was watching one of his videos. If you don't know his channel, please check it out. JT's Record Room, the name of that channel. And so he mentioned Al Hirt. JT does these videos where he goes to thrift shops out where he lives in Nevada. I know he likes my pronunciation of Nevada. That's my Canadian accent. Learned to love it. And anyway, so it got me thinking. My wheels got spinning and thinking about December. And of course, I was thinking about my dad. He passed back in 2016. My mother's in her 95th year back in Ontario. She's doing well, perfect health. But my dad was a huge Al Hirt fan, and this is from his collection. So again, when JT showed an Al Hirt album, it got me thinking about this. And yeah, Al Hirt was commercial jazz guy, borderline on Dixieland. He was from New Orleans, Louisiana. So the story goes way back when, at that time, he was a part owner of the New Orleans Saints. Just a little sidebar trivia there. So on the back here, you can see Al Hirt. He's the king. Al Hirt, the greatest horn in the world. It's with Henri Rene and his orchestra. So yeah, this is all good out of nowhere. Georgia on my mind. Let's do it. I'm on my way. All these songs clocking in under 3 minutes. This is a really quick listen. Like most of the Al Hirt stuff, he doesn't go on jamming. It's very formulaic, but it's highly listenable. And this one, of course, in great condition. My dad took great care of his stuff. And yeah, it looks like I replaced the inner sleeve on this one, but of course there's the cool RCA Victor logo there. Very neat. So it's Al Hirt and with Henri Rene and his orchestra. You see it again. He's the king of trumpets. So yeah, on a December note, while we're at it, I thought I'd pull this gem out. So this is a photo of yours truly right here. And there's my dear old dad. This would have been at his company party, Christmas party in 1972, because I was 4 years old. It says on the back of the photo in the frame here. So there he is. Asked to describe my dad. If you've ever seen the American television show Mad Men, I'd say my dad had the great looks of Don Draper and the quick wit of Roger Sterling. No doubt, if you've ever seen that show, my dad was a super funny guy. One of the best. So great Christmas memory there with my dad. And I don't know who this girl is, just some other kid. And of course there's Santa. And yeah, I just thought I'd pull this out because it was December and got me thinking. And yeah, this is a great moment. Glad I still have that. All right, and moving on. So I also said I was going to inject some December, I think I said concert music memories, or December music memories rather. So here I go. This is a live double Fish album. It's New Year's Eve at Madison Square Garden. You can see on the back, Madison Square Garden. Of course, New Year's Eve, 1995. And it's a triple disc set. Opens up nicely, really nicely packaged. And you can see on the inside, there's all the seats at Madison Square Garden. Never been to Madison Square Garden. I've been to New York City a couple times, ran the marathon there back in 2014. It's on Rhino. So yeah, I saw Fish 2 times. I saw them in 1995, Lake Placid, New York, which I'm going to talk about next. Here's my ticket stub. So this is from December, as you can see here, December 17th, 1995, and it was at the Olympic Arena, it's called. It was built for the 1980 Winter Olympics, and just a big hockey rink, basically. So they played two shows. This was the Sunday night show, this is the one I went to, and they also played on Saturday. So you can see the nice shot of Lake Placid. So that looks really picturesque, but our drive down there was not. At the time, I was living just at a university. I was working in my hometown of Brockville. So a normal drive down through the Adirondacks. Brockville's a border town in Eastern Ontario. Should take you about, I think on a good day, probably 2.5 hours to get down to Lake Placid. It took us over 6 hours. I remember on the Saturday, we drove through a terrible snowstorm. But come hell or high water, me and two friends of mine, we were going to get there, and we did safely. And once we got there, everybody in the village, it's a beautiful ski town. As again, sunk down in the Adirondacks. There's one of the mountains right there you can see on the top of the ticket stub. And yeah, it was just a huge major party weekend down there. People were from all over the place. So that was the first time that I saw Phish. And then the following summer in '96, I saw them in Plattsburgh, New York at a big outdoor summer festival where again, they played 2 days and you bought a ticket and got in and you camped and you were just there for both shows. So that was a wild time. Only 6 months after this, I think it was July of 1996, and I don't have that ticket stub. I couldn't find it for the purpose of the video, but again, I thought I'd show this one. It's sad that, you know, and you go to events now, everything's electronic, no more paper tickets, but I've kept a lot of mine. You can see on the back here, you can see Lake Placid, site of the 1932 and 1980 Winter Olympics. So again, cool concert story. And they are playing again at Madison Square Garden this New Year's Eve. I'm not going. I think I'm good with Phish. I liked it a lot at the time. It's something you really have to be in the mood for. It's kind of like free jazz versus cool jazz. You know, I don't do a lot of free jazz. I just can't. And that's kind of what Phish is like on some days. It's just complicated, long jams, like 20, 25-minute songs. You really got to be in the mood for it, if you know what I mean. So again, this is a nice package. New Year's Eve, 1995. All right. And this, another December kind of music memory. I had a college roommate. He was only into new wave and punk, hated Pink Floyd, hated any of the, you call the legacy acts, like, you know, Pink Floyd, Beatles, Stones, whatever. Despised this stuff, but you know, he was a decent guy and bought me this for Christmas. This would have been probably my third year of university back in Ottawa, Ontario. And it's Pink Floyd, Delicate Sound of Thunder. I think this was basically the tour for the Momentary Lapse of Reason album that was released in 1987. This was released in 1988. So yeah, this is from that tour. You can see here's all the personnel listed here. Cool gatefold sleeve. There's the stage right there, and some shots of the band down on the other side here. So yeah, great live album. I mean, it's a mix of old and new. Well, new at the time. You had some tracks, again, from Momentary Lapse, like Learning to Fly is on here, Yet Another Movie. Dogs of War on the Turning Away. Those are all excellent tracks. And then on the second album, the second record in the set, you've got a couple of tracks from The Wall, like Run Like Hell, Comfortably Numb. And yeah, so it's really cool. And you can see the artwork. It's very similar to Momentary Lapse of Reason. And again, this, yeah, right down the corner. It's live, of course. And yeah, this is really in excellent shape. And this has been played a lot, this record. But like most of my stuff that I got new, it's still like new. So yeah, just some neat stuff on the inside. It's live, just some more photos. And let's see here, get this back in here. And more of the same on, this is the first record. Pink, oh yeah, Pink on this one, and the other one, Floyd on the other side, of course, and it's live. So yeah, some nice shots of the band, if you can see there. So yeah, nice live album, double live rather, and it's Pink Floyd, Delicate Sound of Thunder. All right, and this is just something I was listening to the past week. Again, GT's Record Room. I know he likes a lot of the West Coast folk rock, and I'm sure he's a fan of the new Riders of the Purple Sage. In fact, he commented on one of my videos when I mentioned something about the Dead, Grateful Dead. He's seen them 50 times. That's astronomical to me. But I've seen Dead and Company 3 times, and their farewells next summer, and I'm hoping to get out and see that one. That'll be my 4th show. So this is just New Riders of the Purple Sage, as I said, and it's the Adventures of Panama Red. They were very active between, I believe, 70 and 76, and this is my favorite album by these guys. And I just like this to chill. It's really cool music, kind of country folk. You know, in the school of, you know, Flying Burrito Brothers is always a good comparison with these guys, or Grateful Dead, kind of Working Man's Dead era, I would say. And again, the title track on this, Panama Red's great. Lonesome LA Cowboy, You Should Have Seen Me Running, LA Lady. Yeah, Teardrops in My Eyes is another good one. Really neat artwork on here. Kind of like almost like a Robert Crumb thing, but maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, definitely this is Robert Crummish. There's a cartoon strip on the inside. I think I've showed this video way back on my channel, but again, bring her up one more time. That's New Riders of the Purple Sage, The Adventures of Panama Red, the name of that one. So yeah, I just threw that on the other day. Great record. All right. Oh, and back to Fish. I had another interesting tidbit. So as I said, from that Lake Placid concert, here's my original tour shirt. I had to sit in here to show it, and I did not. So here you can see. Fall Tour 1995. And as it rounds out on the very bottom, you can see Olympic Center, Lake Placid, New York, December 16th. And 17th, yeah, of course, right there on the bottom. Pretty cool like that. So yeah, I'm a big fan of, I keep my concert shirts all these years. I gave a bunch to my daughter recently. I had too many. Patty said I had to do some purging of my closet, so I did that. And yeah, the young teenagers, I love it. They're walking around wearing shirts and nobody even knows the music. It's classic. Anyway, another one I was just throwing on this week. It's Electric Light Orchestra, and this is, of course, Discovery. Release date on this one, I think, is 1979. Yeah, 79. They were on a label called Jet Records, and of course, you can see on the bottom here, they're produced by Jeff Lynne. Yeah, ELO, nothing radical here, folks. But again, this is one I got when it came out. I would have been in middle school. I always thought this was cool. This guy's being chased through the desert by these dudes, and he's running with an ELO. Thing. Looks like an ELO frisbee, doesn't it? Hilarious. I don't know. But yeah, some of the key takeaways on this one, of course, Shine a Little Love. Confusion's the highlight on this one for me. I love it. Don't Bring Me Down. And yeah, Diary of Horace Wimp is another one too. But yeah, it's Discovery. Great. I love the artwork. Got a, you know, Arabian Nights thing going on here. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting cover art. All right. And then lastly, I wanted to give a contest update. I'd like to give a concert update, but I'm not going to anything in the near future. So the contest update, I'll spit that out. I've had several entries so far. Rachel's Ghost and her partner Sue, that was great. She was in right out of the gate. Second, I think she was the second entry, just after Jack over at the Vinyl Martini. Of course, Matthew Street, he did a great entry too. Ben Rankins, Down Under Tunage, that's John and his wife, Mrs. D. She was in the video. That was great. Pat Johnson and his wife, Krista, friends of mine from back in Brockville, Ontario. Excellent video there. Both you, Pat and Krista. And Jack's Tracks is a channel, spells it Trax. Go check that out. And of course, recently, this past week, I had a couple of new entries. I had Robert's on My Turntable, another gentleman from Ontario. Thank you, Robert. Sam St. John threw in on this. Sam, I've entered your contest, as you're aware. And then lastly, Rob at Northern Revolutions, hot off the presses, as they say, this morning. And I was off today. So Patty and I watched that a couple hours ago. It was hilarious. So if you don't know Rob's channel, Northern Revolutions, go over and check it out. He actually lives in the same hometown as where my wife is from, in southwestern Ontario. He was very creative. I wish I had the editing tricks. That's going to be one of my New Year's resolutions. I know that's not a good idea to make those things, but I got to learn how to do some editing and mix things up in my videos a bit. But anyway, on that note, Rob does just that in his video and his contest entry for our contest. It is great. So please go check that out. It's Rob over at Northern Revolutions. And yeah, so I actually have one more concert memory to throw in here. So it's The Cult, Sonic Temple. I did see this tour. Would have been probably the first week of December in 1989, and it was so cold. So this show was at the Ottawa Civic Center, and yeah, it was just a really good show. Jason Bonham, son of John Bonham of Led Zeppelin fame, the drummer, of course, he had a band, and he's still active on the circuit. He's a session guy. He has his own thing going, and of course, this is, as I said, Sonic Temple. This is the second album, I believe, produced by Rick Rubin after the Electric album. It's really great. On the inside here, of course, there's Billy Duffy on the front, and on the back, there's all the tracks listed. This one's chock full of hits. Sun King kicks it off, Firewoman, American Horse, Edie Chow Baby, Automatic Blues. New York City's a real ripper on this one. It's excellent. And Wake Up Time for Freedom. Very good. So the funny story about this one, so we came out of the arena. It was, like I said, the Civic Center, which is no longer there. I think they built a new arena for the hockey team there. But we came out of there, and my apartment was probably about a 45-minute walk. We could not get a cab, and it was the coldest night of the year. Any Bruce Cockburn fans out there will know that song. There's a reference for you, coldest night of the year. But no, God, it was so cold. Ottawa, the nation's capital in Canada. If you've never been in December, picture Antarctica with a large urban population, and then you have Ottawa. It is so cold there. I'm only about 5-6 hours south of it, but it's remarkable when you go there in the winter how cold it can get. And I remember that night walking back, a buddy of mine, Greg, that was down from Toronto, and we went to that show with a group of people, and we all got split up because we were partying and we were in general admission. Back when, if you don't know what general admission is, they wouldn't have seats on the floor in the arena, and you would just kind of, in between bands, you'd try to get closer. And yeah, so, and you'd be standing room only. But yeah, that was a really good concert memory, of course, like I said, from December 1989, and it was the Cult. Sorry to jump looping back around there. I was trying to give a contest update, but didn't want to miss that one. And another channel I discovered this week, Physical Rock and Roll. That's Gary's your host over there. He was at the Cult show this past summer, and so was I. I went. Black Rebel Motorcycle Club opened up for it. Based on my comments going back and forth with Gary, he was more into there to see the Cult, and so was I. But I'm a big fan of Black Rebel Motorcycle Club too. But yeah, that was kind of cool commenting with you on that, Gary. And as I mentioned, Gary, I've shown this before, but I'm doing it again. What the hell? I was in the 4th row, and I caught this drumstick. I've shown this before, but if you've never seen my videos, this is a premiere drumstick showing for you. Again, 4th row, great seats. At this age in life, I'm done with shitty seats. So I'm going to steal that quote from my friend Bryant, who went to the show with me. I know he likes to watch these videos. But anyway, folks, 2 weeks left on the contest. It closes Saturday, January 7th. And my beautiful co-host, Patty, will be back. We'll be drawing the names, and we'll give another summary on the contest. I'll probably do just a regular video like this between now and Saturday, January 7th. But you've got 2 full weeks, basically from today until then. And I'll probably do the drawing around noon Eastern Standard Time. Don't hold me to the time, but it'll be around that midday on that day, Saturday, January 7th. So, and then ironically, the day after that, there's Sunday, I'm going to a record show in Burlington. So anybody in the area, my friend Stan that I met at that show, ping me, Stan. It'd be cool to meet you again at the show. And yeah, so that's that, folks. So Merry Christmas to those of you that celebrate it, and whatever else you're doing. If you're not celebrating Christmas, I hope you'll have a good long weekend anyway. And enjoy yourselves, play safe. And well, if I had a beer, I'd say cheers. A little early in the day here still, but anyway, hope you have a good one, whatever you're doing. And don't forget to enter my contest. And please check out some of the entries. People put a lot of work into these videos, and they're worth checking out. Again, it's Mike, MGK Boston, push to 400 subscribers. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.